he's badass. Max is just a little freaking badass. I love him. What's up, Shadowhunters, angels, and dark mothers alike, and welcome to my first thoughts episode for episode 18 of Shadowhunters 2B, Awake, Arise, or Be Forever Fallen. Quite a fucking mouthful. I don't know why that episode is this long, like, in name, because that is just, it's like, oh, what episode are you watching? Oh, you know, Awake, Arise, or Be Forever Fallen. I don't know, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. I don't really like that episode name. Just, this was a really fucking good episode. I just don't like the episode name. Today we are filming on my bed because I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if I slept wrong or I did something yesterday, but my shoulder blade really fucking hurts. So I don't want to set up my desk and everything, like I have to pull it out away from the wall and everything, and I can't be bothered doing that, and my shoulder blade hurts. So we were recording on my bed, and every time I move, the camera will move. Isn't that great? Isn't this a top quality channel? I mean, tripod what? Professional camera what? I use my laptop because I am broke as shit. I use the web camera that's built into my laptop. So yeah, you're getting like top quality here with me on my bed being lazy, not wanting to pull the desk out, the camera moving. This is just the best episode I've done. And the thing is that what I want to talk about for first thoughts is actually something that I want to like talk about properly. Like, I'm not going to be doing half-assing it or anything, because I knew that this episode was going to make me want to talk about this. And now it's going to be a little cheap looking because I'm on my bed with a sore shoulder blade with a moving camera. So we all know it's the quality of the content, not necessarily the quality of the setup, right? Right? Anyway, enough babbling. In Awake, Arise, or Be Forever Fallen, I want to talk about my first thoughts. I want to talk about Max. The reason I want to talk about Max is because I did this when there was that scene between Magnus and Alec in Season 2A when Magnus said that he found it hard to send Camille to jail, and Alec was like, it's okay, say what you think. I did this kind of episode for that as well, where I talked about the books for a bit, but I mean as in I talk about the books in comparison to the show and what the show did. And I'm going to talk mainly about Max in first thoughts, and then in fair and unbiased I'll touch on everything else. I might touch on a few things at the end of this episode, if depending on like how long this diagnosis really are and how long this dissection takes. But if I don't, I'll probably talk about everything else in fair and unbiased. But the reason I want to talk about Max and kind of like the reaction of the characters around him in the show is because they really fucking hit the mark here. And it didn't go exactly the way it did in the books. And I don't like that they didn't go the way it did in the books. And that's weird, because I hate the books. You know I hate the books. But I feel like it was a massive cop-out if this is their equivalent to what happened in the books. But I'm holding out that maybe the writers expected all the book readers to know. Because when Max confronted Sebastian at the end of last week's episode, I know I was like, oh well, this is where it happens. I'm not going to say what happens to Max. I know the majority of the people who watch me have read the books, but as I've always said, I don't say spoilers because I've had spoilers done for me before, and it's not nice, and I don't want to be the person to do that, because there might be someone who watches me, even just for like 5 minutes watches me, and it gets spoiled for them. So something happens to Max in the third book. If you watch my podcasts with Neve about the books, City of Gas Part 1, I think it is, where we talk about what happened to Max and how badly it was written. And I'm hoping that maybe the writers predicted that people like me were going to watch. We saw what happened last week, and we're going to be like, oh well, you know, this is what's going to happen. This is what happened in City of Glass. This is it, kind of thing. But it went differently. Sebastian attacked Max because Max found out that he was Jonathan. Now I'm talking about the show here. This is not how it led up to in the book, but I talk about the show. So Sebastian attacked Max because he found out he was Jonathan. He hit his head hard off a table and he completely knocked him out. And Max, this episode is going to be called Max is a Little Badass, because he really is a little badass. Like, he was knocked clean out by being thrown against that table. Like, his head was smashed. It wasn't just like a knock. It wasn't like, if you even like lightly hit your head off the corner of the table, you're in danger of getting a proper like concussion. And Max had a proper whack, and he was still able to get up when Sebastian left and find Isabel's room and get the fucking box. I can't get over him. He's badass. Max is just a little freaking badass. I love him. And so that happened, and Isabel found him, and they took him to the infirmary. Now, here's where I want to start the comparison with the book. Again, I'm not going to say what happens to Max, but let's just, well, if you've watched my podcast, you know what happens to Max, but the podcasts are about the books, so if you haven't read the books, I don't know why you would watch the podcast. But I did say spoilers in that as well, but I'm not going to say here, because obviously these are my reviews of the show, but let's just say something severely serious. That's the only way I can put it. Something severely serious happens to Max in City of Glass. And the reactions of the characters in the book is the most abysmal shit I've ever read. In the show, Isabel finds him and she's fucking panicking, and she's almost nearly crying as soon as she sees him. Of course she is. It's her little brother lying on the floor bleeding. His head is like gashed open. And then we see him in the infirmary. Alec rushes in, friggin' panicked. Jace rushes in, panicked. Jace has a moment in Isabel's room when he sees the blood, and Clary has to comfort him for a second. Then Robert and Maris come in, and they have to be serious about making the decisions about what should happen, Max. But you can see that they too are really scared about their son, because they would be. He's dying. And just little bits and pieces throughout this episode. Alec being angry and immediately going, I need to find Jonathan, I need to do this, I need to do that. And almost making rash decisions, like when they told Brother Enoch to go in, he was like, no, because it's like when your sibling or family member is going in for serious surgery that there's a possibility they won't come out. It's like that. And a lot of people sometimes choose not to go with surgery that could risk their family member's life simply because of the fact that it risks their life. But in Max's case, there was no other choice. Even Magnus couldn't save him. So there's that. Like, Alec was scared. Isabel was scared. Maris was scared. Jace was scared. Robert was scared. They were all fucking scared. You'll get where I'm going with this in a minute. The emotions that the actors were able to put across. I love the actors in this show. Even all the controversy that arose because of what Dominic Sherwood said, which I still think is a fucking stupid controversy. But I won't get into that. Maybe I'll start talking about cast controversies while we're waiting for season 3. How fun! But I love this cast. Dominic Sherwood did not put me off. In fact, what he said I thought was completely harmless, and I think people are overreacting to an extreme. But I love them all. Let's just say, I love them all. They're fantastic actors, and I even said in my podcast with Neve that I was excited for this plot point to come up because I'm extremely excited to see the actors portray the hurt that comes across when something happens to a little sibling. Max is their youngest sibling. It's not even like he's the oldest who would, when they grow older, may probably be the first to go if they were to die naturally. Max is the youngest, and they all put across the fear and the misery, I think, perfectly. I feel like Robert and Maris could have showed a little more emotion, but I think they were written that way. I don't think it was the actors like purposely making them seem like they were a bit too stern. I think it was written in the script because, to be fair, they are adults. They have grown in the shadow world. They are shown to like be a lot more hardened. Even if it's their son, they have to be a lot more hardened to things like this. It's bad. It's really bad that they have to be like that, but they do. It's just the way they do. Why am I praising the fact that they showed that the characters were upset? Well, like I said, in the book, when this thing happens to Max, the reactions of everyone is the most disrespectful shit Cassandra Clare has ever written. Never mind biphobia, never mind all the problematic shit with Magnus and Alec, never mind Clary being annoying and being her usual bitchy self in the books. Nothing is more insulting in these books than how the characters, how Max's siblings and his parents react to what happens to him. Because, and in the books it's worse what happens to him. It happens, and then it's never referenced again. It's maybe thrown in a couple of times, and I literally mean a couple of times. Like, literally, no one talks about it. No one shows any emotion besides Isabel maybe once. And this thing that happened in the books, seriously, if you find what I'm saying too vague because you only watch the show, then if you want it spoiled, go to City of Gas Part 1. I mean, like, because I don't want to say it here, as I've said, but they don't express any misery, nearly at all. And most of the point of view we get from it is Clary's point of view. Clary's. Because in the books, Max got along better with Clary than he did with, like, Alec, because, ooh, we read manga! And that's not a diss on manga, I read manga. What I mean is that they both found a common connector, and that meant that Max got along better with Clary. I'm not dissing manga, that's not what I'm saying here. God, fuck. That came out wrong. Clary and Max had a common bond, which was manga and anime and all that kind of thing, and that meant that Clary had a better bond than Alec did, because Max barely like, gave Alec the time of day in the books. So that meant that Clary saw Max's incident through her eyes. We never really get to see Alec think about it. We never really get to see Isabel mention it, except for maybe once in City of Lost Souls, is it? City of Lost Souls or City of Heavenly Fire? I think we get nothing from Jace. This is their younger sibling, for Christ's sake. Oh my god, like, nothing. And me and Neve go on a full rant on this in our podcast. And the fact that the show even showed the characters being fucking upset that their little brother is dying is way more than the book ever dreamed to do. I don't know what was going through Cassandra Clare's mind when she thought that she could do this to a 9-year-old character and then just have no repercussions from it whatsoever, except to go like, ooh, look at Sebastian, isn't he evil? Look, he would attack a child. If that's all that she wanted to do it for, then she shouldn't have made it a child that was getting attacked, because you can't just attack a child and have them in critical condition and then just go, oh, well, you know, the other characters don't really think about it that much, you know, they got other things to do, they've got, like, people to fuck and people to bone. I mean, Clary and Jace are together now, and, like, Isabel's on her way with Simon, and, you know, Magnus and Alex, so, yeah, the child's in critical condition, but I've got romance to write. That's basically what her books are. It's like, oh yeah, I know there's this serious thing that needs to go on, but I've got romance to write, so that's more important. So, I don't know if this is the show's equivalent to what happens to Max in City of Glass. As I say, I don't like how they ended it, because it ends a lot different in the books, and I'm not saying that it's because I liked this plot line in the books. As I said, Cassandra Clare's way of writing it was the most disrespectful shit probably I've ever read, but what I mean is that I feel it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out if they don't go the whole way. And that's coming from someone who really likes Show Max, but what happens to him in City of Glass, I think needs to happen to him in the show. Maybe they think that they can sort of change things that way, but I think it's really important that they do what happened to Max, do what happened in the books, and then write it better. And write the characters' reactions better, and write how people react and act from then on better. Because it would have been an interesting plot in the books if Cassandra had written it properly, instead of half-assing it Did she even half-ass it? She quarter-assed it. A third-assed it. There's barely an ass in it. I think the show needs to do it. I'm hoping, as I say, that they did this so because they knew that the book readers would be like, oh, well, this is what happens to Max. And then they're like, no, not yet. And then everyone's just like, what? When's it going to happen then? I'm hoping that they're doing that because I feel like if they don't do this to Max, it's going to be a cop-out. It's going to be a cop-out. Like, it is supposedly a big point in the books. People say, oh yeah, what happens to Max is one of the bigger points. And it should be one of the bigger points, but it's not written as such in the books. And I feel like it would be very poignant if it did happen to him in the show, because I know that the show will write the characters and the actual thing happening, it'll be all done so well. But I don't want them to back out of it out of fear of, I don't know, because he's a child, or they don't want to portray that on screen. But plenty of times this kind of thing has been shown on TV shows. Plenty of times this kind of thing has happened. It just needs to be done the right way. And I trust the show to know how to do it the right way. It's just, I feel like they're worried about doing it because he's a child. But I'm just hoping that they're doing this just to throw book readers off and surprise us as well. Because I'll be a bit disappointed if they don't do it, because I know that they can. I know that they would do it really well. I know they would do it way better than Cassandra Clare's trash. So I'm just hoping that they kind of buck up a bit and just do it, because it would be amazing to see that on screen because of how well the actors do their jobs and how well the writers do their jobs. So I really hope they do go through with it at some point. Just because I think there's so much potential there for a good story and a good plot point. But it's up to them. I can't control it. But yes, the way the actors acted out all the scenes with Max was just beautiful, and the scenes were so amazing. I was nearly crying at some points. I loved it so much. I loved it. I love it. I love all the emotional scenes on this show. They always get me tearing up. Sometimes Clary gets me tearing up, but I don't even know how, because I don't like Clary. It must be Catherine McNamara. I mean, she's not the best actress out there, but she is good at what she does. So, yes, this episode was very emotional. It was like Parvati Lost all over again. I was crying every 5 minutes, because not only was there shit with Max happening, there was Malec flashbacks. We got Malec flashbacks, people. Did anyone expect this to happen? Well, the people who are really good at predicting stuff probably knew that this was going to happen. I didn't know this was going to happen. We got Malec flashbacks. We got Malec flashbacks to after episode 6 of season 1. We got to see what that next morning was like. Got to see what that next morning was like. And then straight out of a fanfiction in the best way possible, because everyone wanted this kind of thing to happen. I don't mean in the cheap straight out of a fanfiction way. I mean this in the best way possible. Straight out of a fanfiction, when they're about to do their stuff, Magnus's cat eyes appear. And they're like, I know, I'm scared, don't look. Well, you know what I mean. And that was really badly acted, but it's because I'm excited. He did the thing that everyone was looking for. If you go back to episode 8, my episode 8 review for season 2A, you'll know that I talked about this. Everyone wanted this kind of moment where Alec saw Magnus's eyes for the first time. That's exactly how we wanted it to be. Well, I say that, I still don't think Magnus would be that insecure of his cat eyes. I don't think that's really the kind of person he is. But still, it's not that big a deal. I don't really care. It was still cute as fuck, so I'll go with it. So we got all these flashbacks. I'll talk about them in fair and unbiased, obviously. I swear to fuck, if people are going to say that that Malec scene was not good enough, where they were in bed and stuff, I will have no words. I will have no fucking words. Because what else do you want? So, I haven't gone on to Tumblr or anything. I normally record these straight after I watch the episode, so I don't know what people are saying, but I swear to fuck, if people are still complaining, I don't know what to say to them, because there's no way Shadowhunters is going to show them properly. You know, properly. Fucking get over it. This was good. This was really fucking good. Those flashbacks had me in tears. They were beautiful. I loved them. Stop complaining if you are. Buck up or leave, because that was just, these were so good flashbacks. They were emotional. They were just amazing. I love them. I'll talk about them more in fair and unbiased, but I swear to God, if I see people complaining that it wasn't enough, I'm going to blow my top, because I cannot title an episode Shadowhunters is still not homophobic, and besides, that entire argument is getting fucking old. Can we also talk a minute? I want to make a brief mention that Luke's partner, like police partner, and her girlfriend, I don't like them. They're annoying. And I will talk about this because a lot of people went, oh, Luke's partner was getting on my nerves, but then I found out she had a girlfriend, and all of a sudden I really liked her, and I was like, but she's annoying. Why does her girlfriend change the fact that she's annoying? It doesn't. You can't just like people because they're gay. They need to have a proper personality and do proper things. She didn't bother me that much in her other episodes, but she's really starting to fuck me off. I just want her to go away. And then she's just like, do you believe me now? I was like, no, bitch, maybe they're role-playing in that Chinese restaurant. You don't know. You didn't see any of them turn into an actual werewolf. You can't just go, oh, they're talking about being werewolves. That must mean that they're werewolves. Doesn't mean that they're LARPing or RPGing or they're like a big community of those furries who like to believe that they're werewolves. No, they are werewolves. I really don't like her. She really bothers me. And the fact that she's gay is not going to change that. She's annoying. I don't like her. I'll probably talk about her more in fair and unbiased too. But yes, the main focus of this episode was Max, because I just loved those scenes. I thought they were really poignant. They were done way better than the book ever dreamed to do. And I just hope that they'll eventually go through with what happens to him. Because as I say, I feel like there's a lot of potential there, and I feel like they're copping out a bit, but again, I can't control what happens we can't control what happens. It's all the writers who do that, so yeah. That's it for this week's Shadowhunters, Angels, and Downloaders. Like for first thoughts. Fair and Unbiased will probably come out sometime during the weekend because it is my birthday on Thursday. I'm going to be 19. My mum likes to say to me that it's my last year as being a teenager, and that really, if quarter life crisis existed, I will be having one. But yeah, it's my birthday on Thursday, and then I'm going out with my friend, with Neve and my sister on Friday. So I'll try and get this up sometime during the weekend. I can't guarantee anything, but I'll try. And if it's not on the weekend, I'll definitely upload it on Monday. So whenever it comes out, it'll come out. It is coming, though. I'm not going to just skip it. The only time I skip it is if there's technical issues or family emergencies. So yeah, that's it for this week's Shadowhunters, Angels, and Downloaders. Like, and remember, being gay doesn't make you a likable character. You need to have a personality and do good things or do interesting things or just be an interesting character all along. Your sexuality does not really make you a good character. Oh my god, I'm going to get so much hate for this, but it's really fucking true.